Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions, and in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to be talking about why I am seeing value in this series of ETFs and stocks altogether. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is, again, this is not an encouragement for you to actually trade this stock. I simply want to talk about why I see value in not necessarily trading natural gas at all. It's actually almost the exact opposite. But I wanted you to focus on what indicators. I wanted to talk about three main reasons on why I think natural gas is going to pull back. It doesn't mean that it is. I'm simply waiting for the confirmation as of right now. There's three things that I like to focus on, right? Direction, opportunity cost, and overall pattern. And I'm going to get straight to it. So looking at natural gas, I traded live today, just like I do every single morning with the Learn Plan Profit group. They get to watch me trade live every single morning at market open. The really cool thing about that is that, as soon as the market opened at around 6:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time or Pacific Standard Time, whatever time zone it is that you are, it opens here at 6:30 a.m. And one thing that we notice is looking at previous patterns is, let's talk about this first part. Natural gas was selling off on Friday, right? And then when it opened on Sunday, it was consolidating and then began to sell off, trading between the middle and bottom VWAP, right? Overall direction was downtrending. It wasn't until around 5 o'clock where it began to change its overall direction. And one of the big things that I like to focus on is when something is a good deal, right? So natural gas did a beautiful job. So Tesla just broke below 269. So natural gas did a beautiful job but I want you to focus on this pattern. It did a lot of consolidation and then pushed up. And then guess what? It did a lot of consolidation and then pushed up. It did a lot of consolidation and then pushed up. It did a lot of consolidation and then pushed up. And then now we're at this area where for the past 1 to 2 hours, it hasn't been really making higher highs anymore. All it's really been doing is kind of just consolidating, and it's been pulling back more than it was before. So one of the things that I like to ask myself is, natural gas is trending up, right? It's bullish on the day. Is this something that I want to trade? Right, I'm solely talking about this as a day trade, not a swing trade. And one of the things that that we brought up is, is the opportunity cost worth it? Natural gas is trending up, but is there more margin for it to continue to cover? Is there? That's a question that I want you to ask yourself anytime that you're about to take a position, especially when a lot of people are promoting something that's actively trending up. One of the things that you always want to ask yourself is to set up your stock plan, right? Your entry, your exit, which means your sell, and also your stop loss to manage your risk. Right now, when I look at natural gas, I see it almost peaking out, right? I see it no longer making higher highs and extremely overextended on the day. Look at all this that it pushed up. So why is that important? Why am I talking about something that I don't want to trade? Again, this does not mean that you have to pay attention to this. All I wanted to talk about is a series of reasons on why I don't see value in natural gas and in the position it is right now, and why looking at degas, something that's extremely oversold, on why it makes sense on, because of the opportunity cost and the margin of profit that it has to recover, then it might be something that I want to pay attention to. Does it mean that I have to trade it? No, heck no. Right now, it's still not showing any signs of an uptrend. It's still below the middle VWAP, and the SMA line is still pointing down. There's a lot of things that DGAS has to do to confirm before I even consider the idea of actually taking a position. But does that mean that maybe, I can't watch it? And that's the whole premise of this video. It's not that you have to day trade or take a position every single day, but that you set yourself up for success when you see value or when you see an opportunity. I simply wanted to talk about that. I think natural gas is extremely overbought, right? I think that based off of previous patterns, if we go on the 2-day 5-minute chart, we could see that based off previous highs, this thing can continue to uptrend, and it can hit highs of 2.85 or almost 2.86, right? Based off previous patterns. But does the upside potential outweigh the downside potential? I personally don't think so. I think that it's more on the overbought side, that it's bound to pull back, and that's what I'm waiting on. It's not what I'm betting on. I'm not going to get in before the confirmation. It's simply what I'm waiting on. And I think that it's worthwhile, right? Last week, if you guys did not check out my overall progress, again, I go live and I show my profits and I close up all my positions every single day. I solely focus really on on day trading as of right now. I did take a recent swing trade. Feel free to check that video out. But last week in 5 days of day trading, with an average duration of about 2 hours a day, I made $4,452 profit. And you can check this out. I believe on Friday I made $585. You can check out the profits I made on Thursday, 528. If I'm not mistaken, on Wednesday I made 989. On Tuesday I made 1,050. And then on Monday I made 1,300. And I show my P&L, I show my profits, I show all my positions are closed and all that good stuff. The biggest thing that I want to remind myself is like, yeah, I have a weekly goal that I want to work towards, just like many of you, right? We have a weekly percentage growth goal. We have a weekly dollar goal. My goal is, anywhere from like 8 to 12%. The market, in my opinion, has been a little bit slower. So if I can cover anything from like, even 6 to 8% on a weekly basis, that'd be beautiful. Again, that's a little bit more aggressive than a lot of people that are just getting started. But one of the things that I want to remind myself is to take quality trades. So although I see something trending up and I understand the pattern, the last thing that I like to ask myself is the trade worth the risk? And in my opinion, I think natural gas is overbought enough that I don't want to take part of it. I simply want to wait for the pullback, be a little bit more patient, and if it does pull back and if it does begin to sell off, then that's where I think that I can make a decent amount of my money for the overall week. How beautiful would it be to be patient, wait for your proper entry, just watch what it is that you see value in and ignore all the noise that everyone else is talking about. It doesn't mean that you can't break it down, that you can't see value in what they're trading, but it doesn't mean that you have to trade it yourself. Just like this video, you don't have to trade what it is that I'm trading. You can simply break it down, see if you see value in it, and if so, you can simply watch it. And I think that's the amazing thing about, especially if you're just getting started, begin to try to see how other people see value and see if it makes sense to you. Doesn't mean that you have to take uncontrolled risk or take positions that you don't feel comfortable taking. That's one of the biggest mistakes that I think that you can make. Why not just take a step back and simply watch, right? And see if it ends up playing out according to plan. That's all I wanted to talk about. I wanted to let you guys know what it was that I was watching, why it was that I saw value in it, and what my plan was. My ideal plan would be like once I see that natural gas begins to break below the SMA line and actually begins to make lower lows and lower highs, that's something that would indicate signs of a potential sell-off and not just a pullback for natural gas, which then would indicate maybe degas will then begin to uptrend. So we'll see if it even performs that way today. And if it does, great. And if it doesn't, then guess what? We have the rest of the day to enjoy it, to learn something new, and maybe we could flip something like, you guys know what I mean, right? Just being productive in other areas of your life and not just being so obsessed about watching the stock when it becomes counterproductive. So I just wanted to thank you guys again for your time. I should have the little live chat right here. And I know a lot of you guys are always just like all over the place when it comes down to maybe deciding what it is that you want to trade. I just simply want to remind yourself that it's not about taking positions every single day, especially if you're working towards a consistent and weekly percentage growth goal. You want to be extremely selective and you want to make sure that the day trades that you have available, if you're under the PDT rule, are worthwhile, right? And if you have 3 opportunities within a 5-day period that you're able to take advantage of, then you want to make sure that you're extremely selective. So I hope that this video can spark some interest in helping you and become a little bit more selective with what you choose to trade. On top of that, I wish you guys an amazing start to the week. If you guys saw value in this video, I'd really appreciate your thumbs up. And if you guys would like to work with me on a closer basis, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be that first link in the description. You still have about 1 hour left for the $1,000 challenge. And on top of that, we are going to be flying out someone and we're going to be picking them randomly at the end of the month. All you have to do is enroll and learn Plan Profit. And at the end of the month, we'll be selecting one lucky person that we fly out, all expenses paid within the United States, to spend 2 days with me and the TechBuds team here in Arizona. You're going to trade right beside me. You're going to work with the Flipping Wheels team, finding the best car deals and how we profit off of our cars. And on top of that, you're going to also be featured on one of our YouTube videos. Really do appreciate you guys' time. Hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Be selective, be conservative, lock in profits, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.